I think that's the right spot.
Michael, you're, I think it's fair to say, from the more insurgent wing of the party. At Moore's victory party on Tuesday night, the aforementioned Steve Bannon said they're not done yet. Here he is.
The question was called today in the state of Alabama. Who's sovereign, the people or the money? And Alabama answered today, the people.
How much trouble are Mitch McConnell and his colleagues in?
Well, I think Josh's answer right there shows you everything that's wrong with the Republican Party right now. There is always, from the Republican establishment, somebody else who is to blame for the problems that this party has right now. It's Steve Bannon. 4 years ago, briefly, it was me. At the core of the problem right here is that the Republican Party primarily is speaking for its donor class right now. Its donor class thinks that economic opportunity is going great in America. The donor class thinks that social issues and issues of American identity are a problem. The donor class is very good at navigating Washington, D.C. That's not what Republican voters are feeling right now. Republican voters are economically anxious in a world of globalization. Republican donors think that Washington, D.C. is deeply corrupt and inaccessible to them. Republican voters think that most of our nation's elites think of themselves as more citizens of the world than citizens of this great country. We are not going to be healthy as a party until the Republican establishment, the leadership of the Republican Party, starts to understand that there are real and legitimate concerns which keep popping up and costing Eric Cantor their seat, make Donald Trump the president of the United States, get Roy Moore elected in Alabama. Similarly, my side of the aisle, we have to understand institutions matter. We need to have a functioning Republican Party. We need to have functioning senatorial committees and campaign committees within that party. But until the Republican establishment says that the voters of this party have the right to be told the truth and have a seat at the table, and we come together and work together, we're going to keep having this. And Josh seems to fundamentally misunderstand that.
Well, if you're talking about the truth here, who's talking about the truth, right? Is it Mitch McConnell who's the one who's preventing repeal and replace from getting across the finish line?
Mitch McConnell isn't. Do you think that there's 52 Republican senators who authentically want to repeal Obamacare?
I don't, and I think we've demonstrated that. But
so
the point is, if you listen to Roy Moore...
When those people ran and said that they want to repeal Obamacare, were they lying?
Oh, listen, I think we have a lot. We can do a whole show on what we think about Republicans not holding up their end of the promise. But the point is, what Roy Moore and Steve Bannon are talking about is a reality that simply doesn't exist. And that reality is that somehow Mitch McConnell is the one that is shortcoming the Trump agenda and the overall agenda of the Republican Party.
Let me ask you, Michael, is Mitch McConnell part of the solution or part of the problem?
I think that Mitch McConnell's done a very good job on judges. I think that this year on Obamacare, Mitch McConnell does deserve credit. I don't think Mitch McConnell is 100% responsible for everything. Mitch McConnell's a leader of the party, and the buck stops with leadership. And when you look at this party, it is a party that does not understand that the economic opportunity that their donors feel is not shared by Americans across the country who have anxiety on their wages and see all of their prices going up. Mitch McConnell does not understand that just because K Street lobbyists know how to navigate Washington, D.C., doesn't mean that the American people feel that they have access to the halls of power. And so Mitch McConnell is part of a leadership of this party that is grotesquely out of touch with its base. And if you don't believe that, look at the 2012 Republican autopsy, which was heroically wrong on everything about what the party needs to get right. Look at the fact that 16 out of 17 people who ran for president were going to be, serious candidates, and Donald Trump won because he's in touch with what voters of this party believe.
Congresswoman Edwards,